I started my career in industry and accidentally fell into academia quite a few years ago. And so I've been working with all sorts of different businesses. I started my career in engineering. I'm now working with all sorts of businesses, some of the big ones which you know, like John Lewis. We've got a lot of people embedded in John Lewis, really championing this thing called omni-channel. Have you heard that word? Omni-channel. Right, well, this is a big thing which is going on because you as consumers, you no longer see things in terms of separate channels. If you go into the Lowry Centre, the shopping centre next door, and you go to a next store, you might actually want to buy it physically from the store, but then when you want to return it, you might say to yourself, well, actually, I can't be bothered going there. I just want to put it in the post and send it back. But how do you actually manage all the processes that enable people to perhaps go online, collect it from a store? How do you manage the fact that now what we're talking about is day one for day one? In other words, you want to place an order and you want it back pretty quickly. If you go to my website, you can read a blog at the moment about why British Telecom's customer service fails. Right, we've been trying to get a phone line into one particular place since the 16th of December, and it's just a total nightmare. And one of the interesting things about that is that I thought, I know, let's raise a customer complaint through Twitter. Yeah? So you'd think this is, instant messaging. This will actually create a response quickly within the business. Do you know what happened is I tweeted, at BT Care. They said, it must have been about half a day later, they said, can you go to this particular website, this link, and fill in the form? So I fill the form in, and then I get this wonderful response back once I've actually submitted the form saying, we'll get back to you in generally between 48 and 72 hours. What is the point of using Twitter if it's then going to take you 3 days to do anything? It's totally inappropriate, all right? Totally inappropriate. Now, marketing, demand creation. This is my world at Cranfield. We have this group, top secret this, called the Demand Chain Management Community. Okay, we don't talk about supply chain, we talk about demand chain, but people are confused enough about supply chain, right? So that's why we don't tell anybody outside the business. But marketing is all about demand creation. Logistics and supply chain management is demand fulfillment. What we want to do is join those together to come up with this concept of demand chain management. And that's all about the alignment of demand creation and fulfillment processes across functional and organisational boundaries. Now, we used the word in the last presenter, used the word agile. So let's just think about these words. We talk about lean, having no surplus flesh or bulk, all right? Dictionary definition. Agile, quicker movement and nimble, okay? Point is, many organisations are really trying to get lean implemented, aren't they? You want to lean your systems and everything else. But have you found you've suddenly become anorexic through that process? You drive the business into a sort of an anorexic way of thinking about things, which then means you can't be agile because you've starved the business so much. So, it's like, if we're going to be a ballerina about this and be pretty agile, we don't want her to be anorexic because she's not going to dance for very long. But at the same time, we don't want to be horribly overweight because he's probably not going to dance for very long either. So there's a balance here, and lean and agile actually come together, and this is what companies are generally battling with. So here's a definition of supply chain management. Supply chain management can be defined as the management of upstream and downstream relationships with suppliers, distributors and customers to achieve greater customer value added at less total cost. So you all do supply chain. It's not about lorries and sheds. It's about managing relationships. So this actually becomes a key focus when we're looking at what's going on within businesses. Windows into our business processes. I made a claim recently, but was I able to go online and actually see what was actually happening? No, I had to keep phoning up some stupid telephone line and getting charged 10p a minute for the privilege to try and find out what was actually going on. Right? I want windows into my business processes. So even if you're in business to business, what your customers want is transparency, so they can see what's actually going on within there. Now, to make all this work, you need a different type of person. In most organisations, what we have are what we call I-shaped people. I'm sure there's no I-shaped people here, right? But you know, I'm a solicitor and I'm doing my stuff right here, and I've got my little objectives here to charge people loads of money, right? So I'm doing that, and then I'm an insurer, and you know, I'm doing my thing here, and I've got to get all that. And I'm a builder, and I just love building stuff. And then there's some finance people involved, and nobody understands what they do. And then if you're lucky, you might have HR in your business, and nobody even knows who they are. But we're all in our own little worlds, doing our own little thing. But what we have to do to make this work is we need something called a T-shaped person. Person who has that specialism. So I still need solicitors to understand the law and everything else, but I need them to understand when they make a decision or they advise how it impacts both upstream and downstream on that supply chain. How's it going to impact on people?